This is Character Asked It. You already know Character Did It. And I'm here with Derek, the Westside Askew. What's up,
Yo, what's
man?
good?
Tell us about yourself.
What's good? What's good, character? So yeah, like he just said, my name is Derek. The Westside Askew. The Westside is my artist name. Just a little bit about me. I like to do a lot of things. Just a regular, everyday guy. I got a wife, so got to make her happy. Do a lot of music as well. Other than that, always trying to network, always trying to build, spread peace, love, and positivity on the earth. Because it's a crazy place out here, and you need that. You definitely need to be out here spreading some love. So
Facts,
that's just
bro.
what I try to do. Just leave a legacy. It's not. I don't really know how much money I can make. I don't really know people I can influence. All I know I can control is what kind of attitudes I put out, and besides putting it, just trying to always lift people up because as I see it, there's no reason to tear anybody down because I've never in my life I've never seen somebody knock down someone else's sandcastle and their sandcastle somehow got built. I've never seen that. Maybe you have, but that's kind of how I look at life. There's no reason to tear anybody down because it don't bring you up. So I don't see the point in doing that. So that's really just a little bit about stuff I like to get into. The stuff I like to try to leave behind is just hey, I met this guy and he showed a lot of support. He brought a lot of good energy, and that's it. I really don't like to leave any type of sour taste in anybody's mouth. I mean, if it happens, it happens. But I'm never going out with malicious intent to try to put somebody down or anything like that. But other than that, like I said, always doing music. Still regular person, still work. Not an official job, but I still do like the Instacarts and all those things while I'm doing that, and I also do a little bit of real estate on the side here and there.
Okay,
So,
okay.
you know,
Instacart real estate, I mean, it's like same thing, right? Like
I do quite a few things, anything to keep myself busy. Because we all know the devil plays with an idle mind, as they say, and I've let myself get off of my path and off of my greatness, not always trying to stay in some type of routine of chasing something, whether it be trying to work on your fitness, trying to work on your relationships, working on your crafts, whatever it is. I just feel like every moment that we have on this earth, especially being that there could have been, I don't even know how many people could have been born, right? But I mean, we made it, right? When we got conceived, hey, listen, we made it. There was hundreds and hundreds of sperms and all those good things, and somehow I was the one that made it. So I figured, hey, listen, I got to represent for all of them. So definitely gotta do whatever I can as much as I can, and as long as I keep putting in reps in whatever I do in life, I mean that's really all I could demand from myself. Like I said, I can't control how the world perceives that, but I can at least do whatever I can on my end. So just try to focus on the inputs for real.
hell yeah, bro. No, I have a high respect for everything you just said. Especially everything that you say you do your music for, all the reasons that you do it, and your inspiration, like wanting to spread positivity, basically, and you're a hustler, bro. You're out here hustling.
I have to. I mean,
How
I
old
don't
are you?
know. I'm 29, so I'm holding on to my 20s. I got like what is it? It's May. I got like 7 months left.
Hold on
So
tight, bro.
so I'm gonna try to hold on to this.
Hell yeah, bro. I feel you, man. I just turned 35, and that upset me because that means I can't say I'm in my early 30s anymore. Like, I couldn't really say it when I was 34, but I got away with it. You can't say that at 35. So, you know.
Yeah, I mean,
But
it
hey,
is what
age
it is.
comes with wisdom and experience. And I will get to that about because I think that plays a part in music. But how long you been making music?
I've been making music in terms of just overall, just writing and recording. I've been doing that since 2019, but I didn't really start taking it like for real until October of 2022. That's when I really was like, man, I've been doing this for a while. I've uploaded, I don't even know how many songs, and then for every song I uploaded, there was like three that I never uploaded as well. So I was like, you've been doing this for a really long time, and I started to like realize that like I'm not. I don't think I'm like the greatest or whatever, but like I started to actually like listen to it. And I was like, wow, you actually are starting to like sound like yourself because I feel like a lot of people, whether they're artists, in the music space, or they entrepreneurs in like real estate business, whatever. You get into that for a reason. You usually have your core set of influences, whoever those may be, and then you kind of emulate whatever they're doing, and over time you kind of eventually start to find your own lane. So I would say once I really started to like realize, I was like, I don't really sound like any of my influences. They're still there, of course, but I can listen to it and be objective and say, you don't sound like any of the artists that you looked up to, or that you were inspired by. So once I got to that point, I was like, I think I'm gonna take this serious, because if I can actually make a whole project, a whole track, a whole verse, whatever, and it's like, wow, that just sounds genuinely like you. That's when I really started taking it serious, and I didn't really feel like that way about my art until I would say October of 2022. So that's when I started taking it serious. So
Okay.
sorry for that long
No,
ass drawn
man.
out.
God, please, just tell us everything. I cut it up in short form, and I do put the full out. Your name. Tell me about your name, man. Where'd you get it?
Yeah. So my name for my music is the Westside. That's pretty. It's a pretty simple backstory. My name is Derek Askew. My parents didn't give me a middle name for whatever reason, so my two letters were DA, and then growing up, I'm from Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. It's a small town. It's growing now, but it's still a relatively small city, about 75,000 people. It's not a Philly or a Baltimore or anything like that. And I grew up on the east side for a little bit, but then I would say from like the end of fifth grade to senior year when I graduated, I was on the west side of the town. That's where all my friends grew up. That's where all the good things that shape your life. You get into fights. You fall in love with girls, or what you think is love, and all those good things, and all those party, everything that like really kind of shaped me as a person as I am now. I would say a lot of that took place between sixth and 12th grade, and I was on the west side of Bethlehem when that happened. So I used my first two initials. Well, I only have two initials. My two initials, and then the side of town I was from, and just put that together. So the DA is supposed to be pronounced like the weekend, but it's the west side, kind of like that. So that's pretty much what it means. And I got a lot of influences on how I am today from my friends. Obviously that's kind of how it goes. Your friends influence you, you influence your friends. And those are a lot of those people are still the most important people in my life right now. Not necessarily like I talk to them every single day or whatever, but it's kind of like one of those things where when we get back together, it's like we never, stopped, talking to each other. We're still cutting it up as if, we were sitting next to each other the whole time. So, I definitely want to do my best, not just for me. If I'm going to name myself the West Side, I'm going to try to make sure I can make it look good for the whole squad. So that's a little bit about my name, and a little bit about, what it means and what it stands for to me. Um, because obviously I'm still myself, but I also want to kind of show out for where I'm from as well. Um, Especially since like I think like a lot of people try to like, especially when they're on like the fringes, they try to claim the big cities that they're not from. I understand why they do it. I mean, I get it. If I was 10 minutes from Philly, I might do it too. But I'm nowhere near a huge
Well,
city,
they
so I'm
probably
just like,
spent a lot of time in Philly. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. That's probably a big thing too. But since I'm not really in that position, I did spend a lot of time in the big cities in Pennsylvania, but I'm not super close to any of them. So I'm just like, I'm just gonna rock out with where I'm from. There's no reason to try to claim something that I'm not a part of or anything like that. So that's pretty much where my name came from.
no, I feel that. I feel that. You were talking about your inspirations earlier. Who are your inspirations?
So in terms of overall inspirations, of course, I gotta mention the Ma Dukes. Rest in peace. But she gave me a lot of inspiration. She raised me by herself, so
Mm.
I can't really forget her. So her for sure. Of course, you always got to have the higher power in there. Whatever you believe in, if you don't believe in higher power, I don't know. I just believe there has to be some type of higher power there. So of course, every time, like every day I wake up, I'm like, you know what? I didn't die yet. People are dying every day. I didn't die, so there must be a reason why I'm here. So Definitely just inspired to try to create something since somebody created me and something created me. So I feel like that's what we're here for. So that's another big inspiration. Besides those two, I don't know if you're familiar with. He's actually a real estate investor. His name is Grant Cardone. That's another huge one. Another huge inspiration on why I try to do so many things because I see him all over the place, and so he's a lot older. He's like in his 60s now, but he's still super active in his communities and stuff like that. So there's that. Now my specific music inspirations, there's like so many, but I would say the main ones would probably be Kanye West. That's probably my favorite artist across any type of thing, whether it be music, fashion, animations, whatever you're talking about. That's probably my favorite artist of
I
all
see that
time.
Dexter's Laboratory shirt. I see that shirt.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, Cartoon Network. I mean, I was raised on that too. So I would say besides Kanye West being a huge influence, another one of my huge influences is not really necessarily because I want to sound like them. I don't really want to sound like anybody, but I do like Travis Scott a lot, and that's just more because both of those artists they have a lot of different sounds. So I like to have that versatility where you can go from making a club banger, then talking about maybe some real deep introspective shit or whatever, and then maybe talking about how you got too fucked up on psychedelics or some shit, and then trying to articulate that feeling as well. So those are two of my really huge inspirations. Besides those two, there's a bunch of others. A little bit of Wayne, a little bit of Kendrick.
Sure.
Um,
Your two big
then there's
ones. You
also
like the two big influences. You like your controversial artists, bro. Like,
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean that does seem to be kind of how it happens. But then there's also a lot of smaller artists too that I really like. There's his name is Roach and Reem. I follow him on Instagram and stuff. I share his stuff. John Sway, he's a really big influence of mine too. My One of my cousins make music. His name is Terrence Lamont. I love his stuff as well. Figgy Fargo, he's another independent artist. So those are a lot of the people that I like to draw inspiration from as well. Oh, there's tons of others, but those are some of the main ones there.
okay, all right. Um, we were talking about you're 29 years old, and a lot of I mess around with music a little bit, and I know a lot of artists who are well into their 30s, in their 40s, some who are just starting in the music game, and people are looking at them like they're crazy. But I think there's a new wave of artists that are coming because of the access to recording equipment, and usually people in their 30s, when they're a little older, you can afford the nicer stuff, and you can afford to market it and everything. Um, the other part of it is age comes with experience, and it comes with shit to say
Real talk.
and a message, and how does your age affect your music?
So for me, I think that's a great question that you brought up there. So I'll be honest. I think with all the technological advances and everything that we have now, um, I feel like now they say I don't know if you ever heard what they say like every few years, not every few years, like there's
Every
always
10
like new
years.
yeah, like there's always new technological advances and shit like that. So I'll tell you the truth. I honestly feel like people that are 29, 30 now, that is kind of like because we're expected to live longer. If that's really the case, if it's like, hey, they say 50 is the new 40 and all those good things, I kind of look at it like, well, there's always access, but I'm also like, well, if we're expected to live longer, you know, what's wrong with starting 5, 6, 7, 8 years later if we're already talking about there's going to be people that are born today are going to be living into their 200s? I don't know if that's necessarily true, but if
I
there
don't
are
want to
those
live
kind
200 years.
I mean, if all my homies and my wife and everything make
True,
it, then
true.
I might be down. But I don't want to be out here
Yeah,
by
I don't
myself.
be the
That'd be,
last one, bro.
I mean, it would be kind of cool because you would be like a walking piece of history. That
Oh,
would be
no
lit.
doubt, no doubt.
But yeah, that I don't know, because you would be. I don't know who you would connect with if you're 100 years
Bro,
older than everybody
man,
else.
like I don't trust that, bro. You'll end up some like super mutant, bro. Like not the cool
Yeah.
kind
So
either. No.
now I don't know if that's true, but I would say with all our technologies and stuff like that, I think that that is not an issue. I think the reason why people may think that's an issue is maybe they just haven't updated their mental inventory. And I'm not saying they're stupid, but like maybe they just haven't viewed the world, even though they're probably always on their phone. Before that, I think age was a huge thing because you couldn't do what we're doing right now. Like
Absolutely.
you would have needed the Jay Leno platform. You would have needed, the NBCs, the CNBCs. You would have needed a huge company, to sit here and say, hey, we're going to put you on TV. Right now, we don't need to do that. We can create a Discord, a YouTube, an Instagram, and just say, hey, come by, let's chop it up. So I think one of the reasons why people think age is important in music and why you have to be a certain I mean, you got to be a certain type of age and have to be so young, is because before the record labels back then wanted to capitalize on the most impressionable demographic, which is obviously
Absolutely.
people in their teens and their early 20s. And if you're out here and you're 40, obviously they might be like, oh, we don't really want to put our time and effort
Yeah.
and money into somebody who's 40 because how many 22-year-olds are you going to connect with when you're literally probably their parents' age, maybe even older?
Exactly.
But now it's like, I can market myself. I don't have to worry about some huge company pushing my budget or whatever to make people like me. I can sit here, I can study the psychologies of threes and marketing and sales and all those things, and how do I get people, to want to rock with me, or same thing with you. How do you want to get people to rock with you? And with everything being so interconnected, you know, some people's biggest fan bases aren't even in the countries that they live in.
No,
So
hey, that the foreign the UK and even like the Nigerian market is a hell of a market to hit, man.
yeah.
The industry uses Nigeria as like a test market with a lot of their music. It's that's a real
So yeah, man. So I think that's another reason why people might think age is relevant, but I don't really think it is because now everyone's connected. So, if there's billions of people, there's billions of people who are 29, there's billions of people who are 35, there's billions of people who are 50. So it's like, well, I mean, if I relate to this, I'm pretty sure, other people feel the
oh
same type
sure,
of way.
bro. Yeah, I mean, look, there's 8 billion
Of course,
people in the world. There's a million people who want to listen to any song.
yeah, of course. I mean, that's kind of how I look at it. If you're chasing platinum, you only need a million people to like that. There's 8 billion people. So if you're trying to get a million people to like your music, even if there was 100 million people, that would be one out of every 100 people fucking with you. If
Hmm.
there was a billion, that's 10% of that.
Right.
So yeah, we're talking about you would need a tenth of a percent to get a million people, and that's with a billion. If my mistake, if my math is not
I think it's somewhere around there.
fucking me up right now. So we're talking about you're talking like times eight. You can 10,000 people can hear your shit, and 9,999 can be like, nah, that's just trash. But if there's one out of every 10,000 out of 8 billion fuck with you, it's fucking huge. Um,
Absolutely.
so so I kind of just look at the law of averages and everything like that. I might look at it like that because I do real estate and I did sales, door to door sales when I was younger, and that was kind of how it goes. Knock on 50 doors. You're trying to sell two things. Hey, listen, knock on 50 doors. Most 48 of these people are probably going to say, no, I'm not interested.
Absolutely.
Two people might say, yeah, I'm trying to see what's up. So I think, with that being said, when it comes to, trying to be yourself or trying to like worry about, hey, how am I going to make it? Of course, you would love to be the man in your own fishbowl. That's always lit. Of course, that sounds awesome. But if you got to start where you're at and spread it across the world first and build it that way, then definitely do that. You're here. I don't know. Maybe this is your third or fourth time doing life. Last time I checked, this is my first time. So how I look at it is, if everyone else on Earth is doing everything they're doing for the first time, Yeah, you can give me your suggestions. I'm not saying that you're not giving me game, but at the same time, I have to see and see the facts where you also are doing this for the first time. I mean, this is my first time ever being 29 years old on Tuesday, May 23rd at 1:28 p.m. Eastern time. I've never done this before. So for me, I'm like, yeah, I appreciate any type of input, but I still have to have confidence in myself and run with what I'm running with. So I'm a student. I love hearing other people's perspectives. I love you know I'm getting any type of feedback from anybody. But at the end of the day, I still have to if I believe in a product, a pitch, or whatever I'm talking about, whether it be real estate, music, sales, whatever it is, I have to just know that hey, I believe in my hustle. I believe in the way I go about life. I believe in if I keep spreading out positive energy, the universe is going to have to reciprocate at some point. Um, so I just try to keep running with a positive attitude and just keep
Hell
rolling.
yeah.
Now of course, a positive attitude doesn't mean I wake up every day like oh my god, everything. Yeah, I have days where shit sucks, but I just am still glad to get another day, and I just say, hey, listen, if you just keep putting in the reps, you just keep putting in the work, you're gonna find what you're looking for. So it's kind of how I look at it. I know I went on a couple of different tangents. So I honestly tell you the truth, I kind of forgot the original
You're
question,
good, bro.
but
Actually, I was
I
gonna
know
ask you
that
what kind of the second part to that question. We were talking about how age impacts making music and everything. Um,
yeah,
what the other big side to that is the experiences that we've had through our life. We've
yeah.
I'm sure you've had your trials and tribulations that you've had to get through. I mean, you talked about
Oh hell
you
yeah.
lost your mom and you're young for that. You know what I mean? It's how have the you know impactful life events affected your music?
Yeah, I definitely. So yeah, I remember. So yeah, it was about the age. So yeah, I think with age does come a lot of experience, and I think that to me, I think it's a plus, right? I mean, especially you know if you're older, I think it's like I said, I think it's a plus because now you're 35. So if you doing music or whatever you're doing, you're gonna have, or you're doing interviews or anything like that, you're gonna have X amount of experiences to draw from. So when somebody who's 18 might get on here and say something, you might be, oh man, you know what? I know exactly what you're talking about. But if you flip that around and you're 18 and somebody's 35 and they're like, yeah, when I was 27, this happened to me. I mean, they might. I'm not saying that they can't be, super insightful and be able to imagine, because obviously that's a skill that some people have. But at the same time, they don't really know what that's like. So the same thing with music. I think it's cool to make the club bangers, and I was saying I think age does help because like you said, you do have more of a thing to draw on. So if it's like you can take that moment, let's say you do blow up, let's say you drop an interview or I drop a track or whatever, and that shit goes crazy. Then it's like, oh my god, how do I follow up with that? Now, if I'm 18 and it's like, hey, when I was 18, all I was worried about was clapping cheeks and getting fucked up. Like that really was what I was worried about. So it's like, how many songs can you really make about that before people are just like, yeah, we get it, right? When you're our age or older, you might say, hey, oh, well, I went through this. I can make a project or a song about this. I can um, talk about being married or anything like that. And so I think like the older you get, you get you get more experiences. So of course you can draw on more things, expound on more things. So I definitely think that the age is starting to become less relevant. And also when it comes to music, I think because there's so much access, you have that pool of people who are trying to be mainstream and trying to go viral. So they just keep, doing the same thing. And I thoroughly believe, I'm not saying it's going to happen overnight, but I would say within the next 5 years, I think there's going to be a shift. I mean, not even with like the whole AI and all that stuff, but I think that's going to be a huge part because I think once AI is really, because I mean it's moving fast as hell, but like once it gets to the point where it's like can make that song and sound just like you, I think that's when experimental artists are gonna really start to really gain a lot of
Hmm.
clout because if you're feeding this algorithm and feeding this program a lot of the same thing, right? where the beats are the same, the BPMs are the same, the drum samples are the same, all that's the same. It's going to be able to just spit that right back out. But now, if I come here and I'm like, hey, let's just do something completely different that no one's ever heard before. Okay, I think people are going to start to like that because they're going to be like, wow, that was actually a person. That was because it's going to get to the point where you're not going to be able to differentiate an AI copy of something and the actual thing.
that's a interesting take on that. I haven't thought
So
about it like that.
I think like if you're gonna, so the artists who are gonna be more experimental, they're gonna say, hey, listen, this beat is really wonky. I don't understand this shit, but let's go about it. Let's try to sound like this. Let's talk about these things. Like that song with your man bun song. That song is like, I don't know anybody that talks about that. So at some point, someone might be like, you know what, I'm tired of hearing the same things. I'm tired of these women talking about the same shit. I'm tired about these men talking about the same shit.
I hope
I want
so.
to hear I want to hear something different. And I mean, I know that there are people that are that get to that level, um, where they and I think the reason why that still has a lot of, I mean, this is a hypothesis. I don't actually know. I think the reason why a lot of these mainstream artists still chase that sound is because as consumers, if you're a DJ or you're at a club or whatever, obviously you want to keep people in your club. So you may be afraid to play some experimental music because people might be like, "Yo, what the fuck is this?" And they may leave, and they're like, "Yo, that was just $400 I walked out for the night.
Right,
What the fuck?"
right.
Whereas you can sit here and just play, your Drakes, your Kanye Wests, your Kendrick Lamar's, or whatever. Not saying they make terrible music. I'm just saying like those are safe bets, right?
For sure.
I
For
can
sure.
go to a room full of 100 people and say, you know what? I think if I play Drake, I think it'll be okay.
Yeah.
Whereas if I'm sitting here like, you know what, I'm gonna play JPEG Mafia, they might be like, who the fuck is that? I mean, you may not even know who they are. I kind of know who they are, but that's a artist who does
I
more
have.
experimental things. Um, so a lot of people might be like, I never heard of this shit. What the hell is this? I turn this shit off. But I do think that as time goes on, people are going to be looking for, you know, different things, especially when you're going to have AI Uzi Vert pumping out 50 little Uzi Vert type tracks in 20 minutes.
For sure.
It's going to be like, I don't want to really hear that anymore
Yeah.
because it's gonna be so saturated and have no value. Um, so that, like I say, all of this is hypothesis. Who knows what actually will happen? But I think the more experimental people, the people who are willing to talk about different things, I think that's going to really be valuable. And so
For
obviously
sure.
with age, I think a lot of that is going to come into play, right? Um, let's talk about different things. So I think that definitely will for sure help more than it'll hurt. Like I said, there's all types of beats, and if you're an artist, right, and you really value that, and you're truly dedicated to the craft, it it shouldn't be hard, right? Like if you do interviews, and if you're and I mean I've watched a few of them, so it seems like you're serious. I know you do your videos and stuff like that. You're gonna evolve. You're gonna stick to it, and you're gonna evolve with the times.
Oh, absolutely.
So I can sit here and I may not rock out with the people who are 16, 17 years old. I may not necessarily like their music, but I can sit there and be like, this person has a fan base. That means people like it. So I would be foolish to not at least look at it from even a business standpoint and just say, hey, let me just see what this is about. Is this something that I see that I can insert myself into?
For sure.
These do I like these sounds, all those good things. So I definitely say, the longer you stick to something, the age will definitely help you because you'll have more experiences to draw on. So when the new sounds or the new technologies or whatever come out, you'll already know your lane, and then you'll have a better idea of how to insert yourself or how to insert these new technologies, new sounds, new whatever into the lane that you've already created for yourself. Does that make sense?
No, absolutely does, and I totally agree with you. I totally agree, and the AI take is super interesting. Um, Tell me about some of the obstacles you faced in your journey making music, and a lot of times it's life obstacles.
Yeah, so I would say some of the biggest obstacles for me in music. Some of them being, I would say one of the biggest obstacles for me was holding on to holding on to people in your circle that you just fucking shouldn't be holding on to because you have a lot of experience, a lot of years, a lot of moments where you're just like, yo,
Yep.
this has been my man's, this has been my lady, whatever. I would say that was one of the biggest things because before I was doing real estate like full time, and I was really rocking with it and everything like that. It was doing well. The people I was working with, when it just wasn't really working out, and I tried to. We weren't just business partners; we were friends too. So like over time, as being a homie, you try to sweep all the little bullshit things under the rug. You're like, oh, it's just a one time thing. Even if it happens 5 6 times, you're just like, hey, that's the homie.
For
It is what
sure.
it is. It's
No.
all
Yep.
love.
Yep.
And so like we would be making strides, and then there would be something that sets us back.
Yep.
And then, obviously, I don't want to sound like it was all his fault. Like all of us that were doing that full time, when I was working with that company I was building, we all made mistakes. So obviously, everybody is accountable for that. I don't
Sure.
want it to sound like it was all their fault, but with that person, it was just like something would happen. Something they did would bleed. Something in their personal life would bleed into the business. So now it's like, okay, I have to step away from what I want to do to
Right.
juggle whatever you're doing, plus my own personal responsibilities for the business. I still have to make sure that my wife is good and everything like that. So then, when it came to making music, I never stopped. But I would say there came a point in time when I was making the same song over and over again, just to keep that just to keep my mic presence up,
Mm.
just so I could, anything that I've accumulated over that X amount of time, I wanted to make sure I didn't lose that and still was able to build on that. So I just kept doing it just for the
That's
sake of,
interesting.
hey, I just want to get it. But then because I didn't have the time to sit here and be like, well, let me reflect on my life. Let me actually think about the last
Let me.
6 months and think about what I did or whatever. So then once I really let some of those, I'm not saying that they're toxic people or whatever, but I think everybody in life, we're all living our movies, we're all living in our books, right? And we all watch movies and read books, stuff like that, you know. And some of the most famous shows, people leave the show, people, and there might be a 50 chapter book, and you might be the main character in your book, and one of your supporting cast, they may only be there for 5 chapters, and you have to be okay
Exactly.
with them only being there for those 5 chapters. Don't try to bring them into any more chapters because it's not working out.
That's a good way to put
Um,
it.
hey, listen, they're not matching your movies. They're not matching your scenes anymore. They're clashing. They're not wearing the right shit. They're not doing the right
They
shit.
serve their
Uh,
purpose in your life. It's time to move
yeah,
on. You know.
yeah. So I think that was one of the biggest obstacles. Another one of the biggest obstacles was just getting lost in the sauce, man. Uh, and like what I mean by that is like I went to college and everything like that, but I never got like once I graduated college, I realized really quick that I didn't want to fucking be in the corporate world. It's like
Mm.
I didn't really want to do college, but with my mom, I was the only child for her, so she was really prideful about that. Every time I'd come back to be like, yo, your mom talks all about you. She's so proud of you. So I was like, damn, I really don't want to graduate. I really don't want to do this. But I was like, I'm already here.
So,
I accumulated an X amount of debt, and I was like, I think I was a junior. So I was like, I have X amount of debt. If I don't finish now, I'll have just as much debt as someone who graduated without the credentials. So I was like, I'll have the same qualifications as someone who didn't go to school,
right.
but I'm gonna have the debt as if
You did.
graduated. So why that? So I just finished, and then I finished. I went and tried like a corporate job, and I was like, yo, this ain't it, bro.
Yeah.
This isn't
That's
this
a.
not it. And it really wasn't like that. The corporate world is bad or anything like that. Like if that's what
Just not for
anyone's
some people. Like.
yeah. And I just didn't. I was just like, hey, I want to try to push myself, and I could tell like I was losing it. And what I mean by losing is just like I was, when I was in college, I didn't know I was trying to get the best grades I could, trying to get girls, do all those things, trying to look cool. And there was always new people to try to impress and all that, because you're young, you're just doing whatever the fuck.
Sure.
So when I graduated and I went to a job and I started to see routine, and I was just like, wow, I can do this for the rest of my life. Not get any better. I could read no more books and still do this. I can not go to the gym anymore and still do this. I don't have to evolve anymore past this point to maintain this position.
Yep.
And I was just like, I don't really, want to do that because I saw people that were in my office, and I was like, you've been doing this for 30 years. Wow. I mean, that to me, that's a mental toughness. I can't. I don't even know how people can even not evolve
No,
for 30 years.
I feel you,
I mean,
bro. I feel you. Yeah, I cannot imagine
so
doing one thing for that long.
So I was just like, so I stopped doing that. I started doing sales. I started doing marketing, real estate, all those and music and shit like that because I love the chase. I
Okay.
just love the continuous evolving and continuous changing. And I love the feeling that the cheetah is right there. I just love that feeling. Like, hey man, you can't stop. The cheetah is right there, bro. If you stop, it's it.
Yep.
You're
Yep.
you a feast. You a feast now, bro.
I
And
feel you.
so I mean, I know people say, "Oh, it's hard" or whatever, and obviously with difficulties, people always, well, what about the money and your mental health, things like that. And I mean, I'll be honest with you, I feel that way. I feel like my mental health, falters when I don't try to evolve. I feel like the continuous failing and evolving is, to me, I like that shit. I'll be honest with you. The fuck offs, the suck a dick, the you're never gonna make it. I love that shit. I mean, I mean, maybe that make me weird,
Nah, bro.
but
That's fuel.
like I love that shit. So, um, and now of course I still like when people show support. I'm not sitting here saying like, yo, don't come and show no love. Like the hell no, I'm not saying that. But I definitely love to wake up, read something where it's like, hey, there's these new technologies that are gonna come out. Hey, so and so artist just did this and it's gonna change the game like this. And I'm like, well, let me just read this and see how much that's gonna affect me and what I need to do to be myself, but make some adaptive changes. So I definitely, for me, just doing everything that I do, there's no cap on it, right? I mean, I can keep buying buildings. I
For sure.
can keep when I'm doing my day job, which is not really a job. Like I said, it's just doing deliveries for whatever. I can keep doing deliveries. I mean, people keep submitting them. I can keep doing them if I want to keep going. Uh, you know, and everything like that. So, and that's another reason why because when I first got married, 100% disclosure, I really wasn't about it. Just I don't know. It's not that I never wanted to leave my wife. That wasn't the thing. It wasn't like that. It was just more of I was just like, yeah, I just don't. What are we getting married for? Like I was looking at it for like the commercial shit. I was like, I don't see why we're gonna pay all this money.
Hmm.
What we doing right now? But then, after we did it or whatever, and I was like, wow, you made a promise in front of 100 people, all your close, you and her, all closest people, and you said that you were going to do this. And I was like, wow, okay, I really have to sit here every day. It's like, you got to keep going, right? Like, and that's why, put my relationship with my wife up there with, everything else that I do. Cause you got to stay fresh,
Oh, absolutely.
you can't, you want her to keep looking good. Well, then shit, you got to keep looking good. You want her to keep cleaning up. Well, shit, you got to keep whatever you expecting her to keep doing, or him to keep doing, or them to keep doing. You got to be right there. You know what
Facts.
I'm saying?
Facts.
I feel like when with anything you're doing, if you're not pushing the envelope with whoever those people are, then they're not good for you. If they're not challenging you, if they're not coming home like, ah, damn, or whether it be, hey, I just see that you just did the same. You stuck to your routine for 254 fucking days. You know what? I am not that disciplined. I got to get my shit together.
For sure.
And just like all those kind of things. So that's why I love the music, the real estate, the sales, because there's always something new. There's always challenges. There's always hurdles. Always ways to try to get better. So that's definitely super huge for me in terms of everything in life. Just I love the chase.
Facts. I feel you, bro. I feel you. I mean, that's what gets me up every morning too, man. Like it's you can't stop. You can't stop. You can't stop because it feels like you can never start this back up if you did. Like
Yeah.
you answered so many of my questions in your answers already that it's like I'm going through the questions like what did he not talk about yet? You know what I mean? Like what is your following like right now?
Like following in terms of like all my
Like,
followers on like my socials and
yeah, I
shit.
mean, like, you know, like SoundCloud wise, and you know, you're just starting out. You just, you know, what I mean,
Yeah. So on Instagram, which is the thing I'm most active on right now, there's like 370 people. I don't know how many of those people are real. Um, but there's 370 on there. I think on SoundCloud, just like last time I checked, which was 2 days ago, it was a 470,
hey,
480.
that's not bad for SoundCloud for real. That's not. You should really push your Instagram on your SoundCloud. Um, okay, I
Yeah,
mean,
maybe that's a yo. That's fire. I didn't even think about that. I'm about to take a note right
oh
now.
yeah.
Note push IG on SoundCloud. Cool.
And
So yeah, I mean,
that's a pretty that's kind of a flex though, that you have more followers on SoundCloud than IG, because it's way easier to get IG you know what I mean, like SoundCloud, I mean, it's people listening to music and they like it, you know,
yeah. I mean, I never really. That is true. I never really. I guess I never really
because
thought
it means
about
you
it like.
can't be pushing your music that hard on IGs to bring them to you. So that I've never met an artist that went from sound, you know what I mean, like
Yeah.
that's a flex, it's a flex for sure.
Wow. All right. Well,
um
damn. I didn't know that, but I guess it is.
so what does success in music look like to you?
Oh my god, that's such a fucking amazing question. So success in music to me, I want to make sure I can say this as concise as possible. Success to music is me for me is being able to create and not letting any algorithms or any trends deter me from being myself. Now, in terms of the money and stuff like that, of course, I would love to sit here. If I had to put a number on it, um, I would, if I could have a quote unquote perfect world where I could be famous enough to make enough money and a living off of it, but not so famous that I can't go to the grocery store anymore. I would say if I could make $6,000, I'm nowhere near this, but if I could make 6K per month off of my music, and then another 6,000 off of all the other things, so that'd be a total of 12 grand a month. And that's that's the merch, any type of sponsorships, anything like that. 12,000 a month. That would if you're talking about a financial goal, I would say that would be a good number because I feel like at that number you're lit, right? But you can still do things.
For
I
sure.
don't. I can't imagine I wake up one day and it's like, hey, you have 100 million monthly listeners. I'm like, man, I can't go anywhere now because the weekend has 100 million monthly listeners. He's famous as fuck.
Exactly. You know, you're not the first artist to
Like,
tell me that either. That they really don't want to get it like that. You know.
I mean, like if it happened, that would be cool. But at the same time, it's like, man, like
You
you
can see the
can't.
downfall to it. You can see the negatives. Like,
Yeah, like you can't do anything. Like if you had like when that many people are watching you, you can't go into the public and trip because everyone's gonna see it. Everyone's gonna be like, oh my god, you saw this. And you're like, yo, everyone, yo, you all out here fucking trip. What the fuck y'all bitching? Like y'all really clowning me? Wow, that's wild. Or some people have a bad take, or they say something that's not the best, and people want to try to crucify them. And I see some of these people I'm like, yo, you said things 20 times worse than that yesterday. And it's just, but because, millions of people are not looking at you, it doesn't appear as bad.
yep,
But in the grand scheme of things, if what they did was so terrible and so gross and grotesque, I'm like, well, you've done stuff way worse than that.
yep,
So
exactly.
if they're a piece of shit, then they should be under hell. Where should you be then?
Facts,
Right?
facts. No, you're right.
Um, so for me, like I said, if I can get to the point where I make $6,000 a month from the music itself, and then 6,000 a month from all those things, other things, that would be amazing. I'm not saying if the other things blow, but people are like, hey, listen, we like your music, but we love your skits and we love your fashion. I mean, I don't have any merch, but I mean, eventually that's at this point, especially if you're an independent artist, like that's inevitable. You have to do something. I don't know if it's wristbands, shirts, hoodies, hats. Something has to, come with that. Especially if you don't want to sell out, because obviously, if you sell out, obviously you can get that big money. But now you're doing things that you don't approve of yourself, right?
Yeah,
So We've heard it from so many big name artists where they're like, hey, I'm not really proud of X, Y, and Z, but I had to do it to fulfill my contractual obligations and all those things. So that's gonna have to, start sooner or later, but that definitely has to happen. So for me, that would be success on a money level. That would be success on a spiritual level. Would just be continuously evolving, but also still being myself. Because that's I see a lot of people, on even on Instagram, TikTok, whatever, where they're just doing shit to just try to get attention. And sometimes I'm like, where is that? What is that even for? Like if you're doing funny skits and like you're doing funny rap skits, but you're a comedian, okay, that makes sense. You're like, hey, I can flip this and be like, yo, this guy is funny, has good stage presence or whatever. Yeah, I'm a comedian. Oh, well, let's go look at that. I see people just trying to follow a trend, but they sell purses, and I'm like, well, I don't know why you're trying to make a comedy skit. You're trying to sell purses. I don't. How many people are going to think your comedy skits are funny, and then turn around and say, yo, I want to buy your purses? I'm not saying that those two things don't overlap. Those could definitely overlap, but how much? Like I just don't know. So just creating without compromising, or trying to follow a trend for the sake of attention, then it's like, okay, you got this attention for X, Y, and Z, but you don't do those things. So now you have all this attention. Now what are you going to do with it?
For
Now
sure.
at that point, it's like, well, shit, they love me for this. All right, let me just go say some nut ass shit that I don't really believe or want to do, but it's going to make them happy.
Yep.
Now, now you're doing something that you love. Now it's going to be the most. Now it's going to be the thing you hate the most because
You're
you're trying to
jeopardizing who
please,
you are.
and you're trying to please a whole bunch of people you literally don't fucking know,
Yep.
right? So, um, that's why I would say success would be on a spiritual level, for me. So those two things. So I mean,
Okay, man.
I said I was
That's a
going to make
great
that.
answer. That's a solid answer for real.
I knew I said I was going to make that short and concise, and then
Nah, you're
fucking
good, man. You're good.
25 minutes.
What's the most unique thing about yourself that most people don't know? So it could be a random thing when you're a kid. What's a unique thing?
Unique thing about me that nobody knows or that they would find interesting. Hmm. I don't think I don't. I'm not. I don't know if this is that interesting. I didn't prepare for this, so
You're
I
good. You're
just
good. I know.
because
It throws everybody off, man.
I don't really like that whole scripted feeling. Because I
Exactly.
mean,
Exactly.
but if I had to sit here and say, I mean, I already said I don't have a middle name, so that's not that interesting, especially not after I said it. Um, uh, let's see here. Damn, that was you've been asking some good ass questions. I would say if something that somebody does not know about me. Well, and you said it has to be not music related.
It can be music related. I mean, it doesn't have to be.
Let's see here. Well, I'll give you an interesting marriage fact that nobody would have known, and it might make me look like a complete asshole. But hey, it is what it is. Um, I only, I like earlier, like I said, I was never planning on getting married. Like that, I never wanted to leave my wife. Like I planned on being with her for the rest of my life, but I never wanted to do a marriage thing. So, um, I kind of played. I did this. She didn't do this. I did this. I kind of played an ultimatum trick, not trick, an ultimatum game because I'm not I'm not judging anybody. I gotta give this backstory because once I say it's gonna be like, wow, this guy is a fucking asshole. Um, now I don't judge. You do what you want to do with your body and your health and all those things. I personally, since 2017, I went, on a plant-based diet, veganism, all those good things. I'm not, like I said, I'm not judging people. If you eat pork chops or chicken, that I ate it before, that shit is amazing. I'm not talking shit on anybody who does it. But I was on, I was like, hey, I went vegan. Now, when I went vegan, I took 5 years to graduate. She graduated in four. We went to the same college. So my fifth year, she would come and visit, and I would go visit her or whatever. So my fifth year of college, I started, trying different shit. And I had a friend who was like, "Yo, man, I've been doing this veganism thing." I was like, "Well, let me try it out." So I did it. I was like, "Yo, this is pretty cool." fuck it, I'm gonna do it. Gives me a lot of time to train on discipline and stuff like that. So I did it, and she was still, eating a mainstream diet or whatever. That was fine. Like I said, I never planned on living with her. She's like, "Hey, one day I want to have kids," and I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna be honest with you. If I have kids, like I want my kids to be eating the stuff that I'm eating, and if you want that type of stuff, we're gonna have conflicting issues, and we're gonna be having arguments, and I don't really want that. So if you want to get married, you got to go vegan." So yeah, that's how I got married. I don't know how interesting that is,
No,
but
no, that is interesting, and I mean, it's a. I don't think it makes you an asshole or anything like that. I think that it's not like you were forcing her to do it or anything, and it's
yeah,
good. It's good for you. So, no, that is interesting, bro. And I mean, there's a lot of interest. You do real estate. I mean, you do real estate and music like you're all over the place, bro. Like that's respect to your hustle for
yeah,
real.
yeah. I'm trying to get the chaos under control.
Yeah, I feel you, man.
Every single day, you just gotta cut out the nonsense, and every day, if you trim just a little bit of fat every day, hey, listen, you're gonna be in a greater spot. That's what I say, and I would say that over the years, definitely have seen, a lot of spiritual growth, um, with the kind of things that you do, real estate, car, music, and all those things. It's all you always have your up and downs, right? You have great years, great projects, not so good projects. Some days are great in the field. Some days, you get
Not so
smacked the
much.
fuck around.
Yep.
It
Yep.
is what it is. So yeah, those are I would say that would be an interesting fact. So yeah, man. I know I talked a lot. I think we did this for like an hour. I'm sorry for taking. I don't know how
No,
much
no,
time.
not at all. Honestly, I've had interviews last 20 minutes, and I had one last 2.5 hours.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it was like it was an experience, bro. Like I finished, and I just like sat at my computer, like whoa. This has been Character Asked It. I'm with Derek, the Westside Ask You. It's been a great talk, man. Tell him your IG, bro.
Yeah, so you can follow me on IG. It's DA_Westside. And then once you go there, you click on my profile, you'll see my SoundCloud, Twitter, everything that I'm on. It'll be right there as soon as you click on my page. So definitely fuck with me, link with me, reach out to me. I love the engagement. I love connecting with new people, new fans, artists, whatever you do. Hey, fuck with me. And if I like your shit, I'll start promoting your shit for free because I just love, spreading that peace, loving that positivity. And for everybody watching this, just keep leveling up and stacking wins, and let's keep fucking getting it.
Respect to that, bro. Man, it was a good talk. See you next time.
I mean, I'll holler at you.